Good evening, Dr. Stewart. We're here today. My name is Kendall Payne. I'm representing the T.G.Howard Community Center. And what we want to do is we want to give our audience here an opportunity to meet some of our medical professionals. So today, Dr. Stewart, would you mind telling our audience a little bit about yourself and your practice?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here. I am an internist here in Dublin. We moved here to Pulaski in 2009. I have a husband, I have two children. I'm a Christian. And in regards to what we do here, it's regular medical health, of course, but a lot of prevention. Prevention is very important, it's key, as well as occupational care.
Okay, that's great. What do you find as a medical professional to be the most challenging aspect of the COVID-19 virus that the country is dealing with today?
Overall, this was a virus that came quick, fast, and we were learning as we were educating. And I feel that the main thing in regards to testing, it wasn't available initially, and there are just other aspects that really we can look back and we can point fingers, but the main focus is that it came really fast and quick, and we were trying to do all that we needed to do. However, I think that we've had a good response in regards to that, and we've definitely have some failures, and we definitely have hurdles that we have to go over. I think mostly trying to educate the public without causing hysteria, but also being informative. Finding that balance, I don't think that we've done as well as we could have as a country. I think that we've gone not so much informative as in true information. It's a lot of hearsay versus getting it from the source, acting on the source. So I think that those are the two main things, how fast it came as well as the problem that we have and where the information is coming from.
Mm-hmm. And with this being a new disease, and like you said, day to day we were getting new information, sometimes conflicting information.
Correct.
But as of today, what steps can the public take to assist medical professionals that are combating the disease?
Stay home.
Stay at home.
Stay
Did you hear
at
yet?
home. That is imperative, and I understand that we're stir crazy. I understand that individuals, I hear a lot that they're bored and they're not wanting to stay home. But the important thing is that if you stay home now, come summer, the fall, if we continue doing what we need to do, we'll have a decreased chance. We're a small community here, and we do not want an influx here because it will affect us in a dramatic way. So stay home, wash your hands, to keep your distance. I know a lot of people are staying home, so then they're visiting relatives, especially our relatives over 65. They're at an increased risk. They have a harder chance to actually fight off and to overcome the disease, and that's where we're having a problem. Now, there are young people that are having a hard time as well, so we don't want to misconstrue and feel that it's just a disease of those that are older. But we do really need to keep our distances, call each other, check on each other, yes. If you have to drop something off, wear your mask, drop it outside, have somebody pick it up. Let's take this time rather than to be bored. Let's really focus on how can we love our family members, maybe those that we were too busy before, that we need to take the time now and call and spend time and kind of reunite. So rather than focusing on the negative, we should focus on what positive can come out of this, what positivity can come out of this. So, yeah.
And one of the last things you mentioned was, you're doing a really great job of demonstrating it today, is
Yes.
wear the mask. Could
Yes.
you talk a little bit about the importance it is for everyone to wear a mask,
Right.
especially out in the public?
Right, so the mask, the reason why it's this virus, as well as many other viruses, we cannot forget about the flu and various things like that, but it's a droplet. So if somebody sneezes and doesn't realize and puts their hand on a door, up to 12 hours and even plus, if you go and touch the same door, you can actually have the disease transmitted, or the infection transmitted. So that's the main thing with keeping our respiratory droplets to ourselves and not to deposit it. And I think that, we need to make sure that when you do wear the mask, as you see mine is dropping off now, so we always put it up. If you wear the mask under your nose, that's not really containing anything. It needs to cover the nose, cover the mouth. Make sure that it's not too constricting, because you need to be able to breathe. And when you're home, you could then take the mask off. So it's really just wearing masks and also wearing gloves when you're outside. If you're out and touching different doors that is a public area, if you have to go out, then just make sure that you protect yourself. Wash your hands. We cannot cannot say enough about washing your hands. And the 20-second rule is very important. At least we're not saying exactly to them, but the point is take the time to wash all the bacteria around your hand and in between your fingers so we can have that off.
And it's really important to wash your hands, again, as you said. And it doesn't really matter what kind of soap or any of that, correct? It's just a matter of using some sort of soap and washing for 20 seconds and making sure. Is that correct information?
So yes, you just need to use soap overall. I think that the hand sanitizer is a good substitute, but it does not substitute for soap. Soap and water is clearly the best way that we need to go around this. Now, if you're out and about and you don't have access to a sink and soap, then of course hand sanitizer is the way to go. But we cannot substitute or misconstrue thinking that we can use hand sanitizer instead of soap.
Mm-hmm. So you said earlier the importance of staying at home.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people have been staying at home for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. Can you maybe give some advice or talk about some things we can do for self-care while we are staying at home for these long periods of time?
Right. So one of the main things I wanted to speak about, outside of staying at home and doing all that we need to do, is our mental health. Mm-hmm. Anxiety and depression is a big aspect that's coming out. And number one, if you feel overwhelmed, call somebody and speak to somebody. And this is where I was just talking about that we really need to check on each other and call, not necessarily coming over and hanging out, because your circle is who you live with in the house. That is your circle that you should be exposing yourself to. However, calling and checking, and if you feel overwhelming, not to have that fear or the embarrassment of feeling that way, reaching out to somebody, speaking to somebody. If it's not a family member, please consult and speak to your physician. If you do not have a physician, then call and you can go ahead and call the different agencies to get a physician. But the main thing is realizing that the anxiety and depression for some people is a true problem. Now, from my aspect as a physician, I feel that if we give you enough information and you know what to expect, the anxiety and the depression decreases because you know what the expectations are. And so that's why it's important to make sure that we get the information from the correct places. A lot of times on Facebook, there's so many things going on, and not saying all of them are right or wrong, but we just always have to fact check what we're reading on to the major agencies that have the correct information.
Mm-hmm. So you just mentioned the importance of fact checking. And there's a lot of information out there online. We've all been down the rabbit holes. Particularly, are there any informational resources or places of guidance that you can think of that would be helpful for the public, especially in getting familiar with how to handle this COVID-19 situation that we are in today?
Right, so the two main websites definitely is the cdc.gov and the nih.gov. Those are the two, they have the information. And also I did want to say on the last question I didn't include the economical restraint that some are having. And that there are different, regardless of the stimulus packs and various things, there are different agencies that can reach out, that individuals can reach out to get aid and help that's needed. And so I think it's important just to make sure that we speak. Sometimes in the community, there's an embarrassment and you're not wanting to speak about something because you're not wanting others to know. But this is a situation that has put the whole world in a cramp, and so it's not just you, it's not just someone down the street, it is somebody that affects, the same condition is affecting people across seas as well. So let's take this time and reach out to agencies that we can actually get help from, and whether it's changing the course of action of employment that you're doing or something like that, but just making sure that we are reaching out to the agencies, and we are also getting grants, and we're also reaching out and getting the help that we need, because that's imperative as well. There's no shame in that. We need to do that for ourselves, but definitely the NIH and the CDC.
Okay, and we'll make sure to link all of that down in the description for you guys. Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add today, Dr. Stewart?
No, I just think the main thing is realizing that it is not someone else's disease. It is not someone else's infection. It is our infection as a world. And I know there's some concern that there may be some hysteria going on the way things are presented, so I want to touch on that real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have affiliates where I trained in Brooklyn, and I can say for sure that those numbers are not exaggerated. We have our brothers and sisters that have been afflicted with this condition that cannot overcome, and they're passing away. And so there are a lot more people that have actually healed or been recovered, I should say. A lot of people that have recovered rather than have died. So we also need to look at that light as well. I think it's more of a gloom and doom sometimes that's presented. But I really feel that it's important for us to realize that it is ours. So we need to wear our mask. And it's not somebody else telling us what to do. That's not the issue. How can we stay alive? How can we stay healthy? And the question is, well, there's not much, we don't have as many here. We have more that's reported. And the fact is that why expose yourself and have to overcome something that you could have avoided? So please, let's just avoid it. Let's stay smart, wash our hands, stay home, love our family from a distance, call, let's check up on each other, make sure we have food and what you can share, but share wisely. And let's just take care of each other.
Well, Dr. Stewart, thank you so much for your time today, and we thank you along with all the other medical professionals out here on the front lines battling this for us, keeping us well, keeping us safe. Without you, we wouldn't be in the places we are today. So I just want to thank you for your love and dedication, and we will talk to you soon.
Yes, well, thank you for having me. God bless you.